Coffee grounds and filters and vegetable kitchen scraps are fine for the pile, but avoid adding meats, bones, fats, and high-fat foods like mayonnaise. These items can break down slowly, generate foul odors while decomposing, and are highly attractive to unwanted visitors like rats, fire ants, dogs, and other animals. Even acceptable kitchen scraps should be thoroughly covered to lessen the possibility of being dug out of the pile by animal pests. The best additions to the compost pile are the plant waste from your yard and garden.
Now that we've talked about what goes on in the compost pile and how you can make the process go on more quickly, I'd like to talk about what finished compost can do for your yard and garden.
Finished compost is a humusy, soil-looking material that is stable, meaning it won't heat up again when you pile it up. Grass clippings, shredded leaves, or partially decomposed materials can be tilled into the garden or flower bed and offer many benefits. But a finished compost is superior because when it's incorporated into the soil, it's more uniformly distributed within the effective rooting zone of the plants that will be planted in the garden or flower bed. Compost improves the soil in many ways. It improves soil structure. Soil structure is the arrangement of sand, silt, and clay particles into aggregates. Large aggregates of these particles improve soil drainage and water infiltration, prevent crusting, aerate the soil, reduce the potential for runoff and erosion, and open up channels for root growth. Soil humus acts as a glue to bind the soil particles together and improve the structure. A soil high in organic matter from the addition of compost has better tilth and doesn't pack as readily as a soil with poor structure. Compost really isn't a very rich source of fertilizer, but it does increase the capacity of the soil to hold and exchange positively charged nutrient elements in the soil. This means more efficient use of the fertilizer that you do add. Compost helps to hold nutrient elements, slowing the rate at which they might be leached through the soil, until plant roots can come in contact with them and use them. Compost improves water conditions in the soil, which can save on your water bill and improve plant growth at the same time. In a sandy soil, compost helps to retain moisture. In a tight, poorly drained clay soil, compost improves aeration by creating air spaces. Compost encourages growth of beneficial microorganisms in the soil, some of which have even been associated with reduction of certain plant pathogens. The result is a healthier, more productive plant. There are many ways to maintain an active compost pile. The way or system that you select for composting yard waste depends on several considerations. You should consider the amount of effort required by a system of composting, the rate of composting, the kinds of materials to be composted, the compost site, and the cost of the compost bin or construction materials. How much time and effort are you willing to commit to maintaining optimum compost conditions? With composting, like gardening, the more attention and effort you put into the task, the more effective your results. Several composting systems have a range of care that will allow flexibility in how fast you want the waste to become compost. Closer supervision generally results in quicker compost. If your yard or garden is big and generates a lot of trash, you need to consider a system that will promote fast composting to handle the large volume of waste. Since the kinds of waste materials that you put into the compost system makes a difference in the rate of composting, consider a system that fits the kind of waste you need to deal with. A single bin is not likely to handle all the fall leaves at once, but may handle your grass clippings without a problem. If your compost system is going to be visible to the public or your neighbors, a simple pile of leaves may not be the best choice. A nicely constructed and maintained compost bin may be the more aesthetically pleasing system. For some people, the cost of the compost system is most important. A compost drum or a tumbler may cost several $100s, while a pile of leaves is free. However, a homemade or manufactured compost system with some management can produce a finished compost more quickly than an undisturbed pile. Let's look at some of the general composting systems that are feasible for most backyard situations. The most basic composting system is the simple pile. It costs no money to build. It requires very little effort to maintain, just an occasional turning to hasten the composting process. Even with turning, however, composting is slower than other systems because the conditions vary greatly within the pile. The movable holding bin or pen can be constructed from wood, wire, plastic, or various combinations. These systems can vary in cost depending on construction materials or whether it's manufactured or homemade. Waste is simply held in the bin. Since it's not a permanent structure, the bin can be removed and the pile turned back over into the bin. This promotes faster composting than simply leaving the pile alone. A stationary holding bin can be constructed of wood, wire, plastic, or concrete. Cost is a little more than the movable bin and is generally designed to be more durable. Managing the compost can be more difficult because uniform mixing of oldest and newest materials is hard to achieve. The 3-bin compost system offers a permanent bin that is a little easier to manage. More effort put into managing this system usually rewards the owner with more rapid decomposition. It provides a system for easy turning from one bin to another, or individual compartments can simply be used as holding bins for slower, less uniform breakdown. Drums or cylinders, especially manufactured systems, are usually more expensive composters. A quality unit is low maintenance because frequent turning is made easy by a crank, hand rotation, or other turning mechanism. A drum or tumbler should be big enough to allow temperatures to reach proper levels. It should contain baffles for better mixing and some ventilation to provide air.
While there are those things in life and the world around us that we can't do much about, backyard composting offers a tangible way that you can make a positive impact on your environment. Not only do you help relieve our burdened landfills, you recycle a natural product that greatly enhances the soils in your garden and flower beds. The bottom line is a better growing environment for you to live in, right in your own backyard.